What's up, everybody?
Oh, sorry.
Let's go. Welcome back to the Movie Night Podcast, episode 128, where Chris is pulling out his picks. We are talking about 2018's, I don't even know what to call this, dude, like thriller horror drama. Mm-hmm. It's called Piercing. It's small cast, small budget, 82 minutes. I thought it was longer than that. When I found out the runtime, I've watched it 3 times. Twice kind of paying attention and once like focused on it. But like, yeah, I watched it because it was easy to throw on. It wasn't very long. Yeah, I had seen this movie before, and I remembered it a little different than what it actually turned out to be, but it was pretty close to what I was expecting it to be. Had any of y'all seen or heard of this at all?
Never even heard of it. Yeah.
That's right. We kind of mentioned that last week when we were talking about, we were trying to look at who was in it. Okay, well, did anybody like the movie? Nobody seems very animated right now.
Yeah,
it was pretty good.
Yeah, I kind of liked it.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, cool. Hugh, I was thinking of you when I picked it. I just thought like, okay, this is where Hugh and I start to cross and get into the stuff that we both liked a lot. It's got like this hypersexualized, I don't know, motif going on. Like everything in the movies revolves around like either sex or, you know, violent thoughts, and it's got a lot to do with like, you know, maybe mental health, psychology, inner self, stuff like that.
Yeah. I have a lot of notes on those specific topics. Maybe once we reach the 3-minute mark, we can.
Yeah, I'd say give it a couple more minutes before we start getting real crazy about it. Let's say once we hit the 5-minute mark, we dive into that. But yeah, I definitely want to hear from you about it because I was legitimately and sincerely thinking like, oh, I hope Hugh likes this. Like, it feels like one we could both really enjoy. And then I thought, if I get Hugh and the other guys don't like it, I'll still consider it a win. But if Chris and Josh also dig it, that's a anti-Milo for me.
Yeah, man. Anything to further the genre. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, so I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't really watch anything on it. I think I saw the synopsis on Letterboxd and, you know, just like saw the Letterboxd score. I didn't read any reviews or anything. So.
What's the Letterboxd score sitting at?
I was like a 3 or something.
Right, 3, I think.
Yeah, anything over 3, I think anything 3 and up is where I consider like, okay, I'm willing to watch it without knowing much about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. But yeah, so I didn't really know what to expect, and yeah, I was kind of pleasantly surprised.
It's a weird movie.
Yeah.
So I've looked up a little bit about it. So it's based off of a book by the same.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, based off of a book by the same author that wrote Audition.
Oh wow.
Really?
Uh-huh.
You know what? That doesn't even surprise me now that you say that.
And then when I read that, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yo, that would be a really good double feature, actually.
It makes sense.
Start off with Audition and then cap off the night with this. This one not being real long. I can't remember what the length of Audition is, but this one being super short, it makes it a little easier to be a second feature because you're not locked in for another.
Yeah, I think Audition is like 2 hours.
Okay.
There were Tokyo Decadence too.
Yeah, I was looking at his stuff. He's got his stuff is very kind of transgressive.
That's awesome. I didn't know that makes it so much more enjoyable for me because, you know, it kind of opens an umbrella. And
I think he's a Japanese author.
I was going to say that we're talking about the author, right?
Yeah. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting.
That's pretty awesome, man. Yeah, I've had my eye on Tokyo Decadence for a while. I just haven't gotten a chance to pick it up yet. So.
Yeah, I was looking. Cool. I was looking at his other stuff, and I was like, "Oh, that looks like a Hugh pick right there."
Nice.
But yeah, this was an interesting movie. Like, I did feel like there was something missing about it. Maybe just the runtime or something. There's like. There's a little bit of a hollowness or something to it that like, or, you know, one of the characters need to be fleshed out a little bit more or something. I can't really quite put my finger on it.
What about the relationship with the wife like that? What do you think about that?
Yeah. I think that could have used a little more attention because I didn't understand that.
That might have needed a little bit more.
Or take it out completely and flesh it out somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of confusing. But I mean, there were so many things in it that I liked. Like they kept playing all these Giallo songs, like Argento songs.
Man, I recognized a lot of the music in this. Is that what it's from?
Yeah, it's all Giallo. I mean, it's a lot of Giallo references.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as they started playing Deep Red, I was like, oh shit. Yeah, they definitely.
What's that? Okay, where was that at in the movie? I wouldn't recognize it by the name or anything. So where was that in this movie? Was it the beginning or something, or?
I know the very beginning they play a song that's a Giallo, and then it was like, oh, when Mia Wasikowska is coming up to the hotel,
okay,
and then they're doing like the split screen stuff.
Okay,
there's this like song blaring, and that's from Deep Red.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, I recognize that one.
Now that you mentioned the author, I wonder if he has some Sato influences. Like they drugged the guy with a drug called, I don't know if I could talk about this. Can I talk about this?
Hold on. Let's see.
6 minutes in.
Okay, yeah, you're good to go.
So they drugged him with a drug called Halcyon, and in Hisayusa Sato's movies, Hisayasu, whatever the hell his name is, he uses a lot of that drug. It's like the go-to kind of Japanese knockout drug, I guess. So I was kind of like, huh. I've never heard, like I've heard of it before, but anyway, sorry.
I didn't know what it was. I was confused by that too. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, I'm having to fix the spelling on my thing, so y'all can, I'm not ignoring you, I promise.
No worries.
So what do you think about the other technical stuff, Josh? I know you're big on like the color and the execution of the camera work and all, like the scene, the editing and all that. What did you think of that stuff?
I mean, I think that the camera itself, it's like it's a low budget movie, so it has sort of a flat digital look to me.
Yeah.
I wasn't like blown away by it. But the actual like lighting and like the I don't know, the design of the spaces and stuff, I liked all of that stuff.
That's what I wanted to talk about, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Just real quick, one thing that I loved about this movie was the style, the look, the set pieces, the locations, the filler of the rooms, the architecture that was in the rooms they picked, like just the interesting look. It had a very 50s look, but a modern feel. Mm-hmm. And that is something I personally really like. I don't know if y'all noticed it. I feel like y'all probably know. I love chairs. Like I if I had a giant freaking room, I would probably have 30 different comfortable chairs sitting around. And like,
that's cool,
dude. I hate it, man. I have like 8 chairs. If y'all just pay attention, I got I have chairs all over my house, dude. I got a couple in the storage unit. So like that kind of stuff, I don't know where I got it from, but I like it. It's just a thing that I'm interested in it. You know, they're fun to look at. But I like the clothing. I liked the style of the place. I liked the music, which I guess is the reason why. It's because it's stuff that I'm kind of familiar with. But yeah, this movie. Go ahead.
I'll tell you, her apartment was cool.
Her apartment was rad.
Yeah.
The phone in the hotel was something that I literally like. I thought about it multiple times throughout the movie. I was like, "Dude, that phone was rad, bro!" Like
all the phones. There's like 3 different phones.
Yeah,
and
man.
They all had this like weird, cool style to them. Yeah.
I was like, I wish we had stuff like this right now in our world, but we just don't. Like, we don't have anything cool like that. We have smartphones that just look like a miniature tablet, which they do amazing things, but they don't look very cool. In my opinion.
How'd you come up with this movie, Randy?
I own it.
Did you just discover it in a pile of something?
This was pre-COVID It was a pre-COVID purchase. Let me think.
Yeah, it's 2018.
Yeah, I think I'd probably wound up with like new releases coming out, watched the trailer and thought that looks fun. And then bought it. I watched it, and then it's been on my shelf for like 3 years. It's just sitting here. I routinely go through my movies and I'm like, I need to rewatch that. And a lot of times when I have a movie that I need to rewatch, but I don't have any discipline and make myself do it, I throw it on the list for the show because then I'm going to be obligated to watch it. And then I end up usually I end up having a good time. But I got a small list of things I'm working through on the show. And this was one that I thought I moved it up the list once we got talking and gotten to know each other better. And thought, man, this would be one that I remembered it being pretty sleek and cool looking. I also remembered it being low budget. I didn't remember it being so quick. I think this is one of the very rare times that I'll say I wouldn't mind another 10 or 15, 20 minutes of story.
It flew by.
it did fly by pretty quick. I even listened to it like another partial time in the garage doing some work. Yeah. So like, yeah, it was pretty easy. I'm gonna, now that I know it's a book, I'm gonna go try to see if it's on Audible. If it's not, I'll just buy a copy and read it on my, a couple minutes every day or something. But
yeah, it'd be interesting.
Man, I'm pretty. The kink themed movies are pretty sought after by me. So I'm like, dude, have I not heard of this? Like, have I not seen this? Like,
well, I'm glad that it was a solid pick from me then, because I would love to be able to, have some input on things that maybe you hadn't heard of yet. That's always exciting to me to be able to go, hey, check this out. It comes from being back and listening to old mixtapes and music and stuff. Like the other day, I rediscovered 3 bands that I hadn't heard in super long time, and it just took me right back to being like 16, 17, skateboarding with my friends. And it's the same thing. Movies, handing movies over. I remember exactly where I was when I watched Evil Dead the first time. Whether I liked it or not, it's almost irrelevant. I watched it. I have a very vivid memory of that movie. Buying it at a pawn shop across the street from my house on Huffmeister and watching it on VHS in my room by myself on a little 13-inch TV and totally not getting it. Just being like, what is this? And now my entire life revolves around movies of that style, which is hilarious. It's pretty ironic, but yeah, I'm glad you liked it, man. I really am.
Yeah, like Josh said earlier, I think it was just something was missing.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either.
Yeah,
something is though.
I think it just suffered a little bit from identity crisis. That I got a little bit of David Lynch vibes, and of course the Argento vibes, and even a little Cronenberg vibe.
Dude, I was waiting to say for my turn to say Cronenberg.
It didn't
really. I didn't get a Cronenberg vibe, but that doesn't mean anything.
Oh man, with him dreaming and the weird bug thing, and of course just all the sexual.
Okay.
It's all Cronenberg.
Yeah, the sexual stuff for sure.
Yeah. I feel it didn't quite know what it wanted to be, but it didn't do a bad job of doing anything. It's okay.
It's kind of like a mix. It's kind of like Crash if you inserted a bunch of weird Italian shit into it.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of sort of Crash tone and ideas in it. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I love Crash.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie. The chick with the freaking knee brace. Tumbling around on crutches. Anyway, let's save that.
I've only seen it once. It's a tough watch, but
have I watched that movie? I don't even know if I have.
Probably
Car crash fetishes.
The what is it? Who is it? David
Holly
Spade.
Hunter.
Oh no, I don't think I have.
James Spader. I mean,
Deborah Unger. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Not sounding very familiar. Should I watch that one?
We'll get you watching some Crash pretty soon.
I don't think you'll love it, but I don't think you'll hate it either. It's
96 movie, right?
Yeah,
oh yeah, it's gotta be this one.
Yeah, it's super Cronenberg, but it's not like super.
Oh, it's
crazy.
A Cronenberg flick. Oh, I watched it at least once.
Yeah, it's not super out there, at least on the Cronenberg scale, but it's interesting.
It's super cold, everyone has. Yeah, it's dead inside, basically.
I love it, man. It's awesome.
I loved it. He's like, it was so depressing and just and he's like, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Holly Hunter in that movie. I never really thought of her very Holly Hunter's so hot, and then now I'm like, yeah. I mean, Holly Hunter.
Yeah, Holly Hunter's hot for sure.
There's a few actresses like that. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there's a few that I didn't think of them as very attractive. I saw something in that they were young, and I'm like, oh wow, okay. There's some actresses right now that are in their 60s and 70s that if you look at their pictures, you're like, what? That's what she looked like in her 20s. Okay, I understand her fame now.
I have a question about this movie. The guy is basically attempting to, 86 this chick, right? He's trying to, he's a serial person. So
love serial.
No, he's not a serial person. He's a wannabe. He's a poser.
But he has one victim apparently, right?
I don't think he does.
Was it an accident?
I got a vibe that he didn't actually succeed.
I don't think that he has a victim at all.
So that's kind of critical, I think. Either it is or it's a fetish, right? This kind of crazy fetish that they've got going.
The way I understand it is that he wants it to be a fetish. It is not quite there. It's like a daydream that he thinks about all the time.
Yeah.
And the movie picks up right where he's about to finally do something gnarly, and it's going to be to somebody he shouldn't do it to. And then he's like, okay, I got this plan. I've been thinking about this forever. I'm just going to go through with it. Yeah, and then he goes to go do it, and he's just, it's honestly, it's probably more accurate to what that would really be like. Because think about it, if you were really trying to thinking like that, you might not go through with it, man, and you might get stuck. You might get a crazy person that turns the tide.
The movie
seemed a little structured, he had like too many plans and too many people aware. So anyway.
I feel like the movie's making fun of him the whole time.
Yeah. I definitely feel that, and I don't think that he was talking to anybody. I don't think his wife knew. I think that all that stuff was up here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure.
I don't think anybody knew that he was doing that.
Well, isn't he talking to her on the phone at one point?
I don't think he's talking to her on the phone either.
But no, because then
or about that necessarily.
Well, yeah, because he has this whole conversation with her, and then a couple minutes later, I think he tries to call her or something, and then you see her asleep in her bed, and the phone just rings and rings and rings. So it's like telling you, they never had a conversation at all.
It has a little bit of American Psycho in it, like that.
It's very American Psycho. Totally.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, and I think that he's not really doing anything yet. And the reason that it's so structured is because he's been thinking about it for years. He has this little notebook. He's got it all written out and planned out. It's almost structured to a fault. Like he gets caught up because it's so structured. He seems so rigid. The moment something doesn't happen the way he thinks it's going to, everything goes just out the window. It just kind of flares up.
It's been like 10 minutes of him, or maybe longer, of him alone in the hotel room, like acting out everything by himself.
Yeah, he was like drugging himself and timing it. And
I mean, what though? Like when you are involved in something really big like that, you sort of have like a flow chart in your head. Like I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this tie with.
I don't know you. Do you? No, I'm playing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But the way that they shot made it so awkward that it was obvious. It was obvious that it was making fun of him. It was like making him look foolish.
That's how I felt. I felt like it was the whole world was like, look at this idiot. If you just do it, you could do it. Yeah. But like I tell you what though, man, one of the things that I thought was one of the coolest parts of the whole movie is during that scene when he's in the hotel by himself and the sound design. It was so awesome, dude. Everything that he was doing, you could hear it like as if it was happening. He's like going, like this, and then you can hear like he's sawing into some protein, and then like something hits the floor, and it's like the sound design was really well done, and it was just clever because they could have easily made it like a quick little montage, nothing like that, but they took the time to make it kind of interesting, and they probably were on a pretty tight budget, I would imagine, and a Foley artist is going to be a whole lot more affordable than either another actor or you can get that done for a reasonable price, I'd imagine.
Man, this is really making me think a lot because she was a pro, right? And a lot of times women who are pros can sort of play on your fantasies and really dig into that. So I was under the impression that he had planned to 86 her the whole time, right? And then now it turns out that it's just like a fantasy. And she was playing exactly into this fantasy with him the whole time. Like the stabbing was all pre-planned out. I mean, that's like pro to the next level.
That's almost what it was. He planned it out. He was gonna do it. She was a pro. She figured it out. She thought it would, but the thing is that she thought it was just a game. Mm-hmm. And then it turns out she reads his book and goes, "Wait a minute, this fool's really gonna cancel me." And then she goes ahead and puts something in his drink because she's also got some problems. I mean, look at her, self-harm stuff that she's going through. She's got all kinds of scars on her legs and stuff. And it's like, this girl, he like met his match. The movie's really about her, not him.
In a lot of ways, yeah. And the whole dynamics, they just keep shifting over and over again. Like the upper hand.
He's just her bitch now. Much.
I mean, he really got to that point quick when they met. But I mean, like,
well, she's not going to find a lot of work with holes in her leg either, though.
I mean, maybe not.
Unless you're like, finding the people from Crash. They might be into that.
I mean, there's always that Dollar Tree Pro that some dude with $12 might need to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I thought it was a fun movie. I didn't think it was spectacular. I remember liking it. I still like it. I think it's probably like a 3 out of 5 for me. But like a strong 3, not like a, it could be. No, it's about 3.
It's a flawed movie that doesn't quite reach, but it's got a lot of interesting stuff in it. It's
got some potential to have a remake in the future, maybe.
A lot of potential.
Dude, this makes so much more sense to me now, because I was like, why is, like, if you're really tied and somebody's about to off you, like, your adrenaline kick in and you would really struggle and freak out. And now I see, like, well, he wasn't really doing that because he really wanted it to happen.
Yeah, I think he started to really come to terms with the fact that I don't think I'm happy and I don't really care what happens at this point. Like, I have this problem in my head. And then at the end of the movie, I feel like he thought, you know what? Maybe I just like this psycho person. Maybe this is who I should be hanging out with. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me at all to find out that she wasn't even there or something weird like that. I don't know.
That's awesome, man.
I think there was, like, when she was reading his journal or whatever towards the end, there is a thing where, like, if something goes wrong and, it comes back on me, I'm kind of okay with it, essentially.
Yeah, no, it says, like, she might be strong and overpower you, and he's like, it is what it is.
Yeah, he was kind of like just accepting if it goes sideways, then
that tells you a lot.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty much put there on purpose to make sense of, like, how it ended, and he just went,
likely.
Okay, I'm okay with this.
Likely. I mean, that's a smart way of doing it. If you're gonna if you have to do that, then you have to do that. I mean, dude. Okay, total, like, shift in tone here, but, like, I'm so used to people being, like, beautiful in movies, right? Just physically attractive. Whenever this fool is, like, standing over that crib and it goes to the baby, I literally went, "Oh, what an ugly baby!" Like, out loud. Like, and then I just felt guilty for like 20 minutes, dude. I was like, man, I'm such a prick. Like,
and then it talked.
Yeah, bro.
I was like, oh, is this what type of movie we're getting? But it didn't really. It didn't really go there.
I do feel like if it would have committed to those zaniness more, it might have been a better movie even. But I don't want to bash it. I enjoyed the movie. I'm glad I watched it again a couple of times even. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I really wasn't quite sure how you two would feel about it. And I was literally like, it's a coin toss if he was going to like it or not. I mean, he's either going to like it or dislike it. I didn't think there's much room for gray area there.
Feels like there's just enough for everyone for it to be a crossover.
Yeah, that's a good point. Had just enough of everything in it that we all kind of like. The piercing of flesh is hard for me to watch.
Man,
I used to be around that stuff a lot.
At all. I pierced my nipple with a safety pin one time, and that thing, it did not go through easy. It took
I can't imagine that it would.
20 minutes. Like, it was, and then I got a real syringe needle for the other one, right through. But that thing, like, I was like, no, she'd be working at that and sweating.
Oh yeah, bro.
It would not be quick.
I pierced my ear with a safety pin once, and that took me like 10 minutes. I can only imagine a part of your chest, man. But I mean, I was around that stuff at the tattoo shop for years, and I could never get into the piercing stuff, man. I pierced my septum. I had a couple piercings. I had my nostril pierced a couple times. My ears were stretched a little bit. I had my nipples. I had one downstairs. But, like, getting it, I could just not look, and then it would be like, okay, it's done. But, like, they tried to get me to apprentice as a piercer because they needed a piercer, and they only had one. They needed two, and I was like, man. And they're like, oh, well, we'll push the tattooing on further along if you'll just. I said, Brock, I can't do it. Like, I don't think I'm physically going to be able to pierce somebody. They come in there wanting some crazy piercing. I'm not going to be able to do it, bro.
Yeah.
It's a weird
Jacob's
thing.
Ladder.
Bro, Richard did that. And I watched him do it, and I, like, almost vomited. Like, I was just like, oh. It's one of those things where I couldn't look away, bro. I was like, yo, why is your pants down? What are you doing? Oh, dude, stop. Oh, another one. Oh, he did like 4 in one night, bro.
Yeah. Imagine having to hold it in your hand and put each one of those through.
That's the funny part. But, like, what's that? What you doing there, buddy? Or if you're real unfortunate,
Jesus,
what you got going on there, buddy?
I'm too scared of infection for that shit. No way.
Well, I tell you that was probably where I worked at. I've been in a bunch of tattoo shops, but the place I worked at, it was probably the cleanest piercing room I've ever been in because I was in charge of cleaning it.
Yeah.
Top to bottom after every single piercing. So I would literally go in there with like damn near a hazmat suit on and I disinfected the whole room probably 5 or 6 times a day. It stayed like spotless in there. And I cleaned the tattoo area, but it wasn't quite as it wasn't as small. It was like, it was more spread out. Harder to keep that clean all day.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, as clean. It stayed clean. They were in charge of their own stations more than I was, but the piercing room, for whatever reason, I had to like clean. I mean, I cleaned that thing, and it had a disinfectant smell all the time. It smelled like a doctor's office, like a hospital. It smelled like a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I believe it.
No. This stuff is scary.
I sweat too much for that.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you do sweat quite a bit. You work outdoors. That's you don't want.
There's no freaking way, man.
You probably would get an infection, huh?
Yeah, there's no way. Not that I would ever do it. Anyway.
I saw a video today. There's this douchebag that's going around and filming homeless people and then basically just being crappy to them, and it's making me real angry. So I'm starting to like react to his stuff and like give him some crap. But now this stuff is in my feed and I'm trying to get out of it, so I'm trying to not watch it. But this one video popped up and the thumbnail got me. It was this woman's hand, and her hand was swollen like really, really bad. The guy was like that was the weirdest thing. Anyways, hold on, we'll fix that. There we go. So her finger was really swollen, and the guy stops the car and goes, "Hey, what happened to your hand?" And she's like, "Oh, which hand?" And her other hand's all gnarly too. But he goes, "The one that's really swollen." And she picks her hand up, and her finger was like, I'm telling you, dude, it was 3 or 4 times the size of her other fingers. And then as she turned her hand like this, and you could see a ring here, and it was no longer there. Her skin had healed over a ring, dude.
No way.
Oh, bro, it was terrifying. I was like, I couldn't look away. I was just like, what happened? What is this? What in the world? It was so crazy. It was like, she was a homeless woman, and I just felt bad for her because I think it might have been a man. I can't remember. Unless
it just swole up enough that it just...
I think they were saying they got a cut on their finger, and because it was too tight, because like you said, it got swollen, and then it just opened up cut, and then they didn't have no money to go to the doctor to get it cut off. The doctor cut this side so that it could release the pressure, but the ring is still like, and the guy in the car was like, "You got to go to a hospital." And I can't afford it. And I thought, I think if you walk into an ER, they can't turn you away if you have something like that going on. You could lose your hand.
Yeah, probably so.
But if you're in that position, dude, that would be pretty humiliating to have to go in there and deal with that. Like, I can't imagine. Like,
that's essentially surgery at that point, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't imagine having to go in there and be like, "Hey, look, I know I'm homeless and I probably smell really bad and I look really crazy and I got this crazy finger." And they're already dealing with a lot of people being just crappy to them every day. I feel, look, there's a lot of people that put themselves in those situations, but like, man, I've got a certain amount of empathy for those folks because I was under the bridge for a while, man. I slept underneath 610 for a while, and it's no fun, man. It is. I don't think I can even explain to you how miserable it is, even on a nice day. Mm-hmm. Like, you're sleeping on concrete, man. Like, it sucks. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. But that was a crazy video, dude. But this guy's out there being just a jerk to these folks. I can't believe he's doing this, man. It's so weird. And then like, I got a glimpse of who he really was because it's just you hear him, he's he's filming everything, and then he looks to have like plugs that were in his ears at one point. And a couple of tattoos. I was like, "Oh, is this dude like a guy from like the hardcore scene or something? Like, is he like an old head? Like, is he an ex-hardcore kid or punk kid? And now he's being like this to people." I was just so irritated. It was so dumb. But anyways, let's talk more about some movies. I know we're already 30 minutes in. We might as well wrap this up here in a few minutes. Hugh, is it your pick? No,
Chris's.
Whose pick is it? Chris.
Mine.
Bro, I don't know what the order is anymore. I just know.
Bring it, Chris. Bring the thunder.
Well, I got a couple of things. I was kind of decided like which way I wanted to go. So I got a couple of picks picked out. So
let's hear it.
Whichever one we do first. So I think I'm gonna start off with the Babadook.
Ooh. Have anybody else seen that?
I've never seen it and always wanted to.
Is there any way we can watch it at your house soon?
Probably.
That movie deserves a big screen, dude.
Dude, it's good. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you've seen it, Josh?
Oh yeah,
I've seen that movie's scary, dude.
Yeah, I
like it too.
For sure.
I've only seen it once, and I remember walking out of the theater just like, "Wow, that was really
cool."
If we don't watch it at your house, I'm gonna turn off all the lights in here, turn the volume up real loud. There's a kid in it though that you're gonna want to
Yeah, there's a very annoying child in the movie.
But otherwise, this movie is legit. Had me like, it had me bothered, bro. It's a good one.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it like maybe once or twice, but I got the vibe that like nobody's watched it in a while.
I haven't watched it in a long time. Is it
Yeah,
on any services by any chance?
2013, 2014, something like that. It's like early in that A24 horror cycle, you know, before The Witch and stuff even, I think.
I haven't seen it since it came out, so as long as that's has been as long as I've seen it.
I've got it on DVD, I think. Maybe it's Blu-ray.
It's on Tubi.
Oh,
dude, I'm not watching that with commercials, bro.
Yeah, commercials would kind of ruin it.
No, they would absolutely ruin this one, dude. This one needs to be seen without commercials.
Yeah, I've got a Blu-ray.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it was popular enough. Everybody would have a copy, or at least be able to get one easy or something.
I mean, worst case scenario, it's $2.99 on Prime. So, I mean, if you have to rent it, it's cheap.
Yeah, actually, I bought a copy a while back. So,
I just meant like the collective view, whoever's watching with us. Let's see.
Cool.
I've got it one way or another. I've got that movie, but yeah, dude, that's a good pick, man. Hell yeah.
Good pick.
Nice.
I can tell you, we're all certainly going to like that movie, so that's a solid pick. Anybody watch anything else this week?
Watched a couple of things actually.
Have we all seen Evil Dead Rise at this point?
I haven't.
Damn.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I just want to talk with you about it. I want you to watch it. It's cool.
I'm gonna try and see it Friday night. That's my plan.
I'm gonna go with you because I'm off on Friday.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to go too.
I might attempt to pick up a shift. Likely won't be given to me because it's opening weekend of Guardians 3 and they won't give me, dude, they just won't give me a good weekend, man. Like I just can't get it for the life of me. So I mean, it is what it is, dude. Like whatever, man. I'll make it work. But like it is frustrating, man.
Yeah. I'm just curious to see if you like it more than 2013, Josh.
Maybe.
I mean, it's got some flaws. Like I could point out some stuff.
Man,
that
I can't imagine anybody liking this better than 2013.
Wait,
what was your opinion on it, Josh?
Of what?
Well, yeah, but Hugh, you didn't like 2013 at all.
I did. I mean, I gave it a 2.5 star, and then I was like, no, it's really a 3 star, maybe 3.5, honestly. But it wasn't a bad movie. It's just, man, I've seen that shit like 3 times now, like with a bunch of other movies. And I'm like, I like the fresh cut. I like the fresh cut with the green kind of tinge to it, and it was like more intense and hardcore. But I don't know, man. I think it was hyped up a lot, and I was like really expected to have my mind blown, and I was like, hey, you know.
That happens to me with most movies, dude. So I get it.
I'm guilty of doing that a lot, where I'm just like, oh, fuck, you gotta see it.
Did you see it? Did you like it, Josh? I can't even remember.
Yeah. No, I think it's like a 4-star movie to me. I like it. I like it quite a bit. I just don't. I don't have it on the pedestal that you guys do.
Yeah, I think I have it literally at like 5 stars. But it's just I'm starting to finally come around to just being like, I don't care if anybody likes it as much as me, man. Like it's my opinion. Well, I didn't used to understand. I always understood it, but I used to be more headstrong about like, yeah, but why? Like, why don't you like it? Like, or why do you like it, or whatever? Like, explain to me. Like, it does. Who gives a shit, man? Like, if you don't,
I'm getting a better feel for what you like, man. I can see how you think that movie's a hitter. I mean, it's intense and gory and crazy and over the top.
Josh made a very good point today.
50,000 gallons of blood. I mean, it's.
Josh made a good point in the live stream. He said that not many things exceed my expectations with gore, and I thought, I never really thought about it. I guess you're right, because I was talking about Sisu, and I saw a Sisu, and I was like, I guess that was gory, but I think everybody else in the world would be like, that was insane.
Well, I know everyone I heard said Evil Dead Rise was pretty gory, and you were like, I didn't think it was gory.
I need to rewatch it though.
That happens fairly often. People were like, yeah, it's pretty gory, and you're like, not enough gore.
Man, does that really happen a lot?
Yeah. Well, I remember thinking that when we watched Halloween Kills. You know, we all like did not like that movie, but you were like, there wasn't even that much gore, and I was like, that's the one thing it did have. A whole lot
of curb stomping, and man,
plenty of gore.
I mean, bro, I like some. My movies are
It was like
all right.
2013 Evil Dead and Terrifier are up here, and everything else is
true.
Like pretty far down. So I kind of see that too. Like I get let down.
Those are my jams, dude. I love both those movies a lot.
I get let down with some. I think that's why I like 2013 so much.
It's just like insane blood, just
because it was one of the first ones I saw that went, oh my god, this is insane. Like it didn't stop. Like it's kind of like what I want so many horror movies to do, and they just don't do it.
Yes.
So when I saw that for the first time, and even like the second and third time, still was just like, oh my god, this movie's insane. Yeah. And I like Evil Dead, so like I don't know, it just
somebody was telling me, based on my appreciation for that kind of stuff, that I should watch more anime and more anime style stuff. And I think they might be right, because that Kamen Rider movie looks insane. And there's like dudes' heads getting squished and like blood spraying. And I'm like, this is a family movie over there? I was like, this is awesome, bro. Like, yeah, I watched that Winnie the Pooh movie. Bro, look, dude.
Yeah,
Chris was dead ass right about that, bro. I thought that movie looked so stupid. I was like, this looks ridiculous. I'm not even going to watch it. And then I started hearing people tell me it was really good. Like people that I'm friends with and that I trust their opinion. They're like, nah, dude, you'll like this. And I was like, dude, are you serious? Do I have to watch this now? And they're like, no, you really should watch it. And I was like, man. And then like for weeks, I kept hearing how much I needed to watch it. And finally, I just was like, all right, fine. And me and Carissa and Bricken watched it. Charlie made it about 30 minutes in. It was like, nope, I'm out.
Dad of the year.
Dude, there's like hardly any cursing in it. And there's almost no nudity in it. It's weird. I thought there's going to be lots of both. There wasn't any. It's a horror movie.
Screaming in it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yeah,
it's like a slasher where he's like, where Christopher Robin, like, he grows up and then he like leaves them. He's a grown up. He's like, I'm out. I gotta go to college. And they're like, what? Fuck you, man. And they're like, you just bail on us? And so they kill Eeyore and eat that fool, bro.
No.
But the whole movie is like basically guys in masks.
Yes.
It
is amazingly bad costumes, dude. Like, it looks like if somebody smoked like 16 pounds of weed and it drew Winnie the Pooh real good, and he's all, that's what it looks like. You know what Bricken says? Bricken goes, hey, he acts kind of like the guy that was in that Grinch movie. And then he goes, I was like, Jim Carrey? And he goes, no, that guy you like. And I was like, huh? And he goes, the clown. And I was like, Art the Clown? He goes, that's who he reminds me of. And I was like, my dude, I like literally stood up, walked across the room and high-fived that fool. I was like, I love you, dude. We're going to go watch Insidious 5 soon together, me and Bricken, dude. That's my guy, bro. Me and Bricken are going to start watching this shit together. I'm so excited. I got to get him to watch the Babadook with us, dude. It's going to scare the shit out of him, dude. Yeah. Bro.
I did watch Terrifier 2 this week. That was the only thing I did watch.
Oh, really?
And man, the soundtrack, I still love the soundtrack. I listen to it too.
Soundtrack is really good. Like, it is pretty good, man.
Power Man 5000 song, Black Lipstick. I freaking love that thing, man. I'm like, give me them goth girls. But man, it was
oh man.
I think it was a lot better in sort of a relaxed setting for me, where I was just like, yeah, look at her head come apart. Oh, he smashed her chest over it. I mean,
let's go.
I wasn't like really trying to study the movie and stuff. I was just like, yeah, just go with it. I mean, it seemed a lot more fun to me.
That's how I watch every single movie that I watch, man. It's it's just like that. I just kind of like, all right, let's go have a good time. And then Josh is like, fuck you, you're dumb. You got to pay attention to this stuff. And I'm like, but I don't have the brain cells. You just said I was dumb. Like,
that was my reaction to the rewatch. Like, I just like, yeah, let's do it. And I didn't care. And it was fun.
Yeah.
I genuinely appreciate the conversations that I have with Josh about movies and stuff. And so like in the last, like probably like year and a half, I've really tried to like watch movies from a different vantage point. It's really difficult for me. Like I'll like start off a movie thinking like, okay, I'm going to watch this and like really try to pay attention to like what's going on in the movie. Like, stuff that I don't normally pay attention to. 10 minutes in, I'm like, oh, look at that guy's shirt. Like,
Pooh's killing Eeyore. And...
yeah, I'm probably watching the wrong movies altogether.
Forget all about the cinematography, and lighting, and
I wouldn't be paying attention to that shit either.
In that movie, bro, this girl like gets her ass whooped bad, bro, and she falls on the ground, and I think Winnie the Pooh gets in this Jeep and backs over her head, but the camera cuts from like the front of the Jeep with that fool in it to right on the ground, and she's like, ah! And the wheel goes over her head, and it squishes her head. Her eye pops out, bro. It is, oh man, I gotta own that movie, dude. It's so ridiculous. And he's gonna make a Pinocchio one, and I think they said a Peter Pan one.
Yeah, I'm hearing they're doing more like what's it called? Public domain stuff. Yeah. That, and next year, Steamboat Willie, like the first Mickey Mouse thing, enters public domain. So I'll look forward to the Mickey Mouse version of this.
I absolutely do. So what I heard is that this guy had this written for a long time and was basically just waiting so he could to film it legally. So it's been in the works for a hot minute, bro. And as soon as he had the green light, he boom, put it in production, and then it did really well. Like it made a lot of money, apparently. Like percentage wise, it only was like I don't know, a small budget. I don't know the exact budget, but I heard more than once that it had a really good return on investment. But yeah, that movie Sisu, on a more serious note, y'all should watch that one if you get a chance in the theater. It's super quick, super short. Man, one thing that I forgot to mention in my review of it that I'm really irritated because I should have written it down, man. The music in that movie, like the sound, not just the music, but the sound. Like when that dude's on screen, there's like a different sound that's going on when he's not. And it makes you feel like you want to get out there in a muck with this dude and get on the front line and just tear some people's ass up, bro. It's a ridiculous movie. It felt like something that should have been, I bet, like during World War II, like this is exactly the kind of comic book stuff that was being put out. These dudes doing these insane, because like, come on, bro, like a pickaxe in the bottom of a plane, you're hanging by, like, not even like a little chance that could even possibly happen ever, even with maybe a tide, it's still not happening, bro. Like, but I loved it. It was so ridiculous, man. And there was a lot of good, there's a couple of pretty cool feel good moments, couple of pretty cool and interesting stunts, and
it looks like fun. Yeah.
It was a fun movie. It was like if you're too tired to watch 2 hours and 48 minutes of John Wick, to throw this on, and it's like 90 minutes and you're in and out and you're done. It's very similar in feel or story, I guess. There's something about it that's familiar with it. But yeah, I really enjoyed Sisu. I'm glad I watched it in the theater.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
You know what makes me sad? I went to Cinemark, right? And I got in there and I walked in. I hadn't been there in forever, dude. I was like, man, their theater screens are way bigger than Alamo's, and they're not even an IMAX. And I was like, okay, well that's cool. They probably have shitty chairs. I go sit down, and I'm like, oh my goodness, their chairs are so comfortable. And then it like leans all the way back, and I was like, what? And then
they lean back further, yeah.
Yeah, and then I get a thing on my phone. It goes, bing. Hey, don't forget, if you want to order some food to your chair, there's no additional charge. And I was like, oh no. Like, okay, well, what's the perk? I mean, the food quality, the kicking the people out quality is nice. It's overall just a better environment, I guess. But like, man, it really did feel like they were putting their best foot forward today. Was that today?
Man, yeah. Star Cinema. Last time I was there, last time I went to Star Cinema, I was like, let's see what these little pretzel bites look like or whatever. And I was like, man, they really did it up. Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, they have nice chairs.
Yeah, I hear a lot of bad stuff about Star from customers of ours that are probably just really Alamo, I guess. But
yeah, it's not as good as Alamo, but it's better than Cinemark.
I just was shocked about Cinemark like really trying to step their game up, because my last memory of that place is terrible. Like, I hated it. That's why I didn't go back. But their chairs are really comfortable. The screens are really big. The sound was pretty good. The only thing is, if they start bringing in like quality food in those places, bro, Alamo's gonna have a hard time, dude. Because their prices are better than Alamo's, not by a lot, but they do offer different things Alamo won't even like discuss. Like, they have other things that Alamo's like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't care. I'm an Alamo dude. Obviously, I work there. I love that place.
Yeah,
but I do feel like I should probably shoot an email to my corporate guys and just go, hey, just so you know, like we didn't have Sisu at our theater, so I went here and this is what my experience was, just so they could. I just don't want to ever see something that, oh man, if I had just spoke up, maybe we could have. Who knows, man? Like, I don't want to ever be responsible for a place I care about not performing the way it should because I didn't say something, man. I have no problem talking to people. So yeah, but it was an interesting experience.
If Alamo's chairs would go back like 10% more, I would be so much happier.
Bro, they don't really go back.
They really don't. It's always annoyed me.
People call and go, do your chairs recline? And they tell me that I have to say yes, but I'm like, they don't. The footrest comes up.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing as reclining.
Man, I went to AMC in Willowbrook, and their chairs almost lay flat. Like, I started to take a nap, and when I was like, "Oh, this is so nice." I mean,
AMC is really, yeah. I can't. Is that Tinseltown?
I don't. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, bro, those chairs are like beds, dude. Like, you fuck around and find out, bro. You will take a nap in that chair, dude.
AMC still kind of blows to me because their service and food is terrible, but they're like super gross as far as dirty as goes.
Well, I still think the Cinemark is pretty gnarly too. Alamo really shines with the fact that it's like an upscale experience. Like, you're gonna go there and get 46 beers on tap, quality food. Yeah, you might if you go on a Friday. Man, I try to tell people, dude, if you're looking for the best experience, do not go on a Friday.
Yeah,
that's when everybody goes. The servers are stressed, the cooks are stressed, the manager's stressed, the bar's full. Like, you'll have fun, but you won't have like a good experience. Go on a freaking Tuesday night, bro. You're gonna have a blast, man. You're gonna get a good server. Like, man, yeah, that's the way to do it.
Audiences are generally much better behaved in Alamo. Like, if you go to a Cinemark on a Friday night, you're gonna
100%. Oh, dude,
I won't go anywhere near any theater on a Friday unless I absolutely have to. Like, if we're gonna go see Evil Dead Friday night, I'm down with that because it's like the boys are gonna go hang out.
Yeah, and it's 10 o'clock. It's
it's 10 at night. Like, and it's a quick movie. Like, let's do it, man. I'm absolutely down for that. But generally speaking, like, I don't want to be up there watching Guardians Friday. Are you kidding me? No, thank you. I'm gonna watch it in about 2 hours. Like.
The fact that they're playing that this Friday makes me not want to go. Almost, it's going to be so packed.
Yeah, that's one reason why I didn't call and complain about my schedule, because I was like, man, one hand I want to make the money. On the other hand, do I need the money? If I work Thursday, we're going to be pretty busy.
Yeah,
like, and I work Monday and Tuesday, so I'll get the people that don't like weekends. They're usually better tippers, anyways. Like, I know my crowd, man. I know who's doing what and when. I got 3 days. I'll make it work, but. I was a little bit sad. I'm going to try to get one more Friday night before the fest, though. I need to make a couple $100 to take it with me. I'm like super nervous, man. I don't do good with taking time off of work and stuff. Like, my brain just doesn't. But I'm going to vlog everything, so I'll just turn it into work and be all right.
That's what I was going to say. We should just do a bunch of vlogs stuff. You know?
Well, I'm going to clean up my heart. I'm going to actually probably buy a new memory card for my GoPro.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm bringing 4 batteries, so I should be able to knock out some GoPro and my phone's. I'm going to empty a bunch of that memory out too, and I'm pretty excited, man. I haven't done anything with you guys like this ever, and I haven't gone. The last time I did something like this was before we even had Charlie. I went to Dallas with my friend Randy, and we played in a big ass Magic the Gathering tournament. And I busted in like 3 rounds and got real pissed off and did side tournaments. And then I won a bunch of like booster boxes and made a bunch of money back. So I was like, oh, that was cool. We got pulled over. We got pulled over on the way up there because we were in like an area we weren't familiar with. And he just like, I don't know, some simple thing that he did wrong. But I was sleeping in the car. It was like the middle of the night because he wanted to leave that night and get a hotel. I don't know why he wanted to do all that. But we get pulled over and I'm out. I'm sleeping. And like all of a sudden, a flashlight in my face, and I wake up to him literally going, "Please don't do that to him." And I woke up and I was like, "What the fuck, man?" And I started like, getting all upset. And then I realized it's a cop in my face, and I was like, "Yo, what'd you do?" Like, I was like, what's happening right now?" And the cop's like, "Can you get out of the car, sir?" I was like, "Really, dude?" And he got me out of the car. Oh, bro, dude, this guy was a prick, man. Every single time I'm in a car with somebody and we get pulled over, I'm the one that gets out of the car every time.
Yeah, it's the way you look, man. I'm so sorry to say, it's the way.
No. It's definitely the way I look. They don't like black people, and it is what it is, dude. Colored folk get the.
Yep.
But the last time I went to jail was exactly that situation. I was pulled over in a car with a buddy from high school and some girl that he knew. I was sitting on the passenger side of his truck. She was in the middle, and he was on the driver's side. Right. I'm the only one with tattoos. Cop pulls him over for a. His license plates were coming up as like a Honda Civic, but we were driving a pickup truck. So they pull us over thinking it's stolen. And then he says, "No, look at my front plate." And the cop's like, runs his front plate. Turns out it's his truck. Somebody stole his plate is what we think happened.
Oh.
So he's like talking to us. And then the cop literally is like, blah, 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 blah. Looks at the girl. Is like, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, sir, can I get you out of the car, please? It pulls me out of the car. I ended up going to jail. Like, yeah, bro. I had some warrants I didn't know I had, but I also had some cocaine in my pocket. Like, I'm really, really lucky that I didn't get in like way more trouble because I ended up just throwing that in the floorboard. Like,
so all those warrants are gone, right?
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah, I
Don't get pulled over.
No,
don't get pulled over on our trip.
When I went to get my license, dude, I literally gave Carissa a very large amount of money and said, "Hey, there is a small chance that when I go down there, they're gonna take me to jail." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "I don't know that I have all this stuff cleared up yet. We've been trying to fix it for years, you know." And I went down there, and the lady started laughing because she could tell I was nervous, and she's like, "What, you think you got some warrants?" And I was like, "Really? Is that common here? Do you know that's what we're feeling like?" And she was like, "Yeah." I said, "All right, yeah, maybe. I don't know." She's like, "No, she's like, no, you good, honey? Go get in line." I said, "All right, thank God." But yeah, I'm pretty psyched, man. Is there anything y'all are especially excited about? I know John Carpenter, obviously.
Yeah, Carpenter's the big one, of course.
I mean, I want to do the Terrifier dudes. I want to do Sam Raimi if I can.
Yeah.
I need to look at the actual guest list because I don't know that I even really care about any of the people there except the Terrifier guys. Like I couldn't care any less about getting John Carpenter to sign something, mainly because I just don't want to deal with like the lines and stuff. He's a freaking legend. If I could run into him somewhere, that'd be amazing. But like, going and waiting in line, I'm not built for that stuff. I do want to go do some like shopping around and like look for some some cool, unique stuff to maybe put in the shop or something.
It's like the big festival in Texas, right? It's like the biggest one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a separate. How are we getting there? Are we who's driving what?
We haven't really talked about it.
So I would like to have enough room to take a backpack, and then maybe one box. Like I'll try to find one that's like not too tall, that's got like a lid, so I can put something in there that's fragile. Because you never know what you find at these places, man. You find the coolest stuff at these things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't want to do a million guests because I actually do want to go walk around and see what kind of stuff they have.
Yeah. That's my main priority, is basically just kind of peeping the place, and then hopefully I can go see David and Damian Leone and meet Damian and maybe get him for the podcast at some point.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I think I can make it happen. I don't know if it'll happen like in the May, but I think I can get him on the line and reel him in. I think so.
Well, I mean, you know David Howard Thornton, so meeting him in person, that'll be cool. And
that's what I want to get a photo with him, and that'll probably be like my thing that I want, is to get a photo with David.
Yeah, I mean, then he's gonna be right there with Damien.
Yes.
So I imagine if you talk to him, he might introduce you to
whatever money I gotta spend to get up there and talk to those guys, I'm gonna. That's my one goal. That to go shop around, hang out with you fuckers, and have a good time. I'm pretty pumped to just like try to like decompress for 24 hours and just kind of have a good time. I do like the fact that we're doing like a 36-hour thing and not a 2 or 3 day thing. I wasn't sure. I didn't know what y'all were planning, and I was like, man, Friday through Sunday is gonna be rough, but Saturday and Sunday is pretty nice, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys invited me. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. We're doing I gotta write it on the board. What movie was it again? Babadook. That's right. Babadook, episode 129, dude. It looks like Hugh, I think you're the not next, but Josh is next, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Hugh. So Hugh's fallen on episode 131. I was going to see if maybe you'd trade with me, just so I could be dorky and do episode 131.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No problem.
I'll probably forget. You're good.
We'll sit down to do the episode and be like, oh, it's 131. Oh, well.
That's probably almost certainly what's going to happen. But, all right, cool, man. All right, fellas, I'm going to let y'all get out of here. It was awesome talking to y'all. Thank you guys for watching, listening to us babble on about nonsense for the last 20 minutes. But, yeah. Oh, dude, vlogging that thing is going to be rad, though. I'm going to have a lot of footage, man. I'm going to film everything, dude. So you guys can look at, was it Texas Frightmare? Is that what it's called?
Frightmare, yeah.
Texas Frightmare weekend at the end of this month. So June should have a lot of horror Frightmare Fest stuff dropping on the channel. But all right, man, everybody, I'll see y'all next time on the movie night. God, I can't even talk, dude. Movie night podcast. Oh, yeah, that was terrible. So later.